Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War Elven Realm campaign, and in this one I figure we'll start off with a nice big battle. I've taken my troops outside of Dale, tried to move them a little bit in such a way that maybe we'll get some high ground on this attack, and we're going to hit this army. Now, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. There's only 2 units of the Black Spears, and all the rest of them are pretty low tier or levy type units from farther east or southeast. So I think this should be pretty good. And we do have a nice slope here that we're working off of. We've got, as usual, our retainer units out in the front, backed by archers. We've got the axe infantry a little further back, and our horse archers in behind. And we're just working through the ranged units who are out front. It's these Rovanian forester types, although they are bringing up some Rovanian hunters. But I'm just realizing there don't seem to be any longbowmen, any Dale-specific units. There's a very under-strength unit here, just 1 man left. We'll take out as many of these as we possibly can and then choose some choice targets. But I'm suspecting that this army is going to withdraw after we do enough damage to them. Yeah, that didn't take long. So we'll get the horse archers here and we'll run them down around. We do have quite a range on these elven units. We're still shooting at them even from so far away. But we'll get a few more kills as they proceed off map and see you back on the campaign map. Well, that left them with a little more than half of the units that they started with. But we did get some shots into the backs of those couple of Black Spear units. So they're going to withdraw down here. Now, I'm noticing also that Dale commands quite a lot of territory on the east side of the Kelduin. So we could, in theory, drop a watchtower somewhere down here, I guess, to give us a pretty decent line of sight. I don't think that's something I want to do just yet. I think we need to get back into Dale. Because we may have to save Hjorth pretty soon, but something to keep in mind for later on. And we have a nice possibility for adoption here. Competent governor, adept commander. He's a Sindar elf. Oh, and he doesn't get any of the negatives that are associated with that culture group, which I guess would be, let's see, they have not the skill of the Noldor in making such works themselves. So possibly that would be an increase to construction costs. That's maybe what sounds like the penalty would be, but he's getting a bonus of +2 to law and plus extra trade income, so he would turn into a nice governor somewhere or a general. Oh, and he appeared in Dale, so we've got another family member up here. Okay, so we're getting them all in this part of the world, which I guess is a good thing. We've got a lot of manpower now, or elf power, I guess you could say. And yeah, with regard to Hjorth, we've got this army facing us, but it really doesn't look too threatening, and we've got 3 units of fairly damaged threshold troops. If they assault, I think we could hold it, and it's a settlement we've just taken, so I think I would be willing to risk that. Once I get our new governor here all retrained with some improved armor, we can take this army and then move it down in this direction. I'd like to start heading downriver, because as we've seen, Dale does own some territory south of the Kelduin, so it wouldn't hurt us to start taking some of that from them, I guess. The other thing, though, that I want to focus on is right in the Anduin Vales. So we had an army. Oh, now they're going to move. Okay. We had an army of the Beornings who were right there, and as soon as my Elven units got close to them, or Elvelen units, they have marched off, which is very annoying. So let's just, yep, there they are. Let's attack, and let's see how these Elvelen wardens do against some war dogs, woodman axes, and riders. I believe this is the first time we've seen this unit on the battle map, so we can take a look, and it looks like a fairly lightly armored ranger style unit, I guess. They've got, of course, a sword and shield, and not really anything else in terms of abilities. They've got a combat bonus in the woods, and they're good at hiding in the woods, but we're on the attack here, so while we will be fighting in the woods, we're not really going to be springing any tactical ambushes, I don't think. So let's just get up here, and yes, indeed, the Beornings are off to our left, so we'll have to trudge through the trees to find them. Alright, so it looks like they're interested in finding us as well. Let's rush forward with that line, and then we've got our captain behind. I think I'm a little concerned about the riders. Well, of course, the dogs are going to be a problem too. Let's see if we can just get around them. Yeah, we're wavering already. Okay, shaken. Woodman axes are winning easily. This would be embarrassing if I got routed by this relatively minor stack. Of course, we've got dogs to contend with. They have not released them yet, but let's charge in and see if we can deal with these units. The woodman axes, I would think we would have done a lot better against them. Let's take a look, though, if we can pause a moment for take a look at our stats here. Okay, so attack of 11, defensive 26, and a charge of 6. With the woodman axes, it's the same attack, little worse attack, much worse defense. Oh, and here come the dogs. Yeah, we might lose this. We might lose this. Yep, here's the first signs of routing. There's my Elven Wardens going away. Oh, gosh, what a waste. Alright, the Woodman Riders are just reconfiguring for another charge, I'm sure. We've got a decent amount of men left, I guess, but of course all these dogs, they're not good to deal with. They're frightening. And then these guys, the handlers, are also going to be pretty effective in melee, I think, too. And I'm really embarrassed that we haven't been able to take out, like, the weakest unit in the Beorning roster. They are wavering now, so that's nice. Okay, now they're losing. So it could be that they were better off in that initial charge. Maybe they got a charge and we didn't. Certainly they were being helped out initially by the Cav, which is somewhere now. Somewhere off in the background, I guess, just waiting to charge again. Maybe chasing down my routing units. Nope, they're nowhere to be seen. Okay, well, that's a good thing. I think the cavalry, if they charge now, would pretty much be the end for this fight. As it is, we're going to continue to take some of them out, probably before we end up routing. If we don't get any routing happening really quickly here, though, there's just no way. Yep, that's the end of it. So my captain goes down, and then the whole force routs. What a waste. What a waste of time and population, bringing them all the way from 3 ways, I think it was, or Tharbad, over the mountains to die beneath the stupid Beornings. Okay. Well, at least they're retreating southward, I guess. We can, I think, retrain these guys down in Fairfield, but the problem here is that we're being limited by population. Yeah, so we've got the money to do it now, but we do not have the men, nowhere near enough. And we've still got this stupid stack of stupid Beornings hanging around in the wilderness, making things annoying for me. If they decide to come south, they could take Andlang, no question. So we need to count on our elves. We've got some coming eventually. They're going to be crossing over into Rudour in the next season, and then we'll be able to attach them to this Imladris Lancers unit, and then that should hopefully accomplish something finally down here in terms of getting this stupid stub of a Beorning force out of my face. So let's distract them, I guess, or distract them. Let's go ahead and besiege them here. And we'll put this under siege. We'll finally grab some mercenaries, which we've not been able to do for a long time. And I think I will keep the king down here. We did, though, get some Galadrim scouts trained up, so we'll put them with the king and see what other news we had. Yeah, there's the Galadrim scouts, the Imladris Lancers. We did some retraining, apparently. Greenwood bows got retrained. Why would that be? Oh, because the Elven King's Halls is still on auto governance, which is, I guess, fine. But I don't know why they would have needed to be retrained. At any rate, we've got a couple units of Greenwood bows up here. But again, I need to figure out the south. I really don't want to have to send... Screw it. Imladris Lancers. We'll bring him out. We'll find... I've got a scout unit somewhere. Oh, I think he's attached with these guys. Okay, we'll bring him up north. Just kind of keep him around so the Lancers don't get bribed by a Tharbad emissary. And then they'll come down here and hopefully get rid of this very annoying stack. But we take Langwick, and then the Beornings are going to be an annoyance that we will have to deal with a lot less. They'll just be over here. All of these territories will be nice and connected for trade purposes, and then that should be nice. Now, we do have this that we mentioned in the last episode, that Dale is moving around the southern fringes of Mirkwood, you know, just completely bypassing Dunabar here. But that's because we do technically share a border on this part of the Greenwood. They own the East Bight. So they're coming over, and rather than attacking him on Lank, it looks like they're going to head over to Fairfeld. Well, I think we can hold them there. And yes, in case you were curious, Dunabar does indeed have pretty much all of the eastern part of Gondor, and Dunland has pretty much the left-hand side. We've got them all the way into the Morthond Vale here, which is very interesting to see. Not something I usually see. They've also, of course, got Pinnith Gelen. And let's see what kind of units they're bringing down here. Not their best, but it's apparently enough. No doubt Adunabar is doing most of the heavy lifting around here. But this means that there's a possibility, a slim one, that these two factions may go to war with one another. Again, I believe Dunland needs to take Edoras to win, so that could be nice to see them get distracted in that way. Well, in the north, rather annoyingly, it doesn't look like this army is planning to assault. They're just going to starve us out inside Hjorth, and I'm reminded that every turn that we spend under siege, we're losing some of those precious elven units. So what I've decided to do is take one of the units of Greenwood bows that was in the Elven King's Halls, and I moved them up and around. We'll attack this army. We'll get the garrison showing up as reinforcements, and we'll also get this guy involved in the fight, Blanda of the North Anduin Vales. He's, of course, going to be a unit of Dragon Slayers, but hopefully nothing we can't handle. And again, this army doesn't look too bad to me, but we'll see. All right, so we're attacking. I'm guessing they're going to be set up here on the high ground. Yep, right over there. And we're going to get our reinforcements from all the way here on the other side of the map, and hopefully that'll give us plenty of time before the big Dragon Slayers unit shows up. The nice thing, though, is this unit has... I think they've got no archers in this army. It's all just swordsmen and spearmen, mostly low tier. So we'll get our archers in place. Let's go ahead and run them, in fact. Start luring them towards us. I'd like to start prioritizing the Dale Watch, really. And then we'll get all of our spearmen over here. Not sure if I want to run them, but I guess it depends on how quickly those horsemen are going to be moving. Alright, our archers have been keeping them busy over in the woods there, and that's given us time to get our spearmen around. They're a little tired, or well, actually I guess they're just warmed up here. And it looks like they're sending some Dale Watch. I would love to get rid of this unit with my spearmen. I'm not sure whether this is going to work out too well. They are swords, of course. Okay, turn around here, please. We'll get them surrounded, and then the bodyguard unit is well away. They're taking their time, which is just fine with me. Where's our archers? Okay, here we're just kind of playing skirmish, I guess, with some Barding Militia, Ravanian Axemen, so it's really nothing too threatening. In fact, I'm not sure that I really want to waste arrows on these guys, so let's charge in with axes. Okay, we're surrounding Dale Watch. They are losing slightly at this point, so let's go ahead and encircle them. We're going to get attacked from behind. We, of course, are not going to be able to manage, outflanking all of these units. But if we can surround these guys, we've already done quite well, I would say. We're getting attacked by some militia on the other end here, but not losing too many men considering what we started with. And a lot of these guys have armor also. Okay, so we took out... Let's go ahead and attack them. These militia should break pretty quickly. Alright, they're broken. Let's quick march down here towards the melee and see... Okay, there's the cavalry. We want to have enough spears left to do some damage to the cav. And I think there's really no other enemies in between here, so we may as well bring these bows down towards this melee to help out. Okay, they're bringing their captain a bit closer. We're almost within range of him. Now, let's stay right in the trees here and start firing. We may have enough arrows to, well, do some damage there, but then we're going to be out. So it's going to be up to the spears to defeat this bodyguard unit. We've still got all of our army inside Dale itself, though, so that even if this doesn't go well and we lose a bunch of our threshold troops, I'm not too concerned. We've already got one unit routing there. That's a small unit of Dale Watch. Good to see that unit gone. In fact, I think that was the unit we had originally attacked. Very good. So we've got our archers firing into the captain here. Not in range of the Dragon Slayers, and now we're out of archers, or out of arrows. Let's run over here. I want to get into the trees, and we can help out with the melee. All right, down into these Barding militia. They're wavering. Very good. Let's just kind of quickly move on. I'm not going to chase them all down, but we can get our spears out to face the cav. Now that they're no longer needed on this front, so we'll just turn them. Oh, it looks like the cav is leaving. They have decided that they are not going to win, so they're just going to withdraw. That's fine. Okay, we can deal with that. All right, well, this is unexpected. We've got a proven commander here, an expert governor, adept commander, and a Cinda, so we're going to absolutely take him. And now that we've got another family member here with these archers and maybe one or two of these units of spears, I'm feeling like we might be strong enough to head west and start bottling up Framsburg. Now, I have some specific plans for that place, but let's see if we can get away with some of these spearmen. Yeah, actually, low taxes will do it. I had forgotten to do that. So, okay, we've got a few spears, we've got some swords here, and then we've got our bows. So if we move them westward with our spy, let's see what we can see here. There's the withdrawing general. And inside Framsburg, they do have the ability to train black spears, it looks like, as well as a few woodman units. So we'll just, yeah, I think we can handle it with this, though. Let's head over here, and then I won't have to watch my flank quite so much. And that means we've freed up, basically, our Dale army to do whatever we want in this part of the world. That might involve taking out this settlement and basically owning all of this land around the Greenwood. And it looks like we can do with a just a mercenary garrison inside Dale itself, and all the rest of these elves can come out of here. Now, okay, we can see there's the remnants of the army that we fought earlier in the episode. Let's get down here, and I don't think I want a watchtower right here because I want to maintain the forest. I think building watchtowers in certain places actually removes some of the trees from the campaign map, so I want to keep that as an option for ambushing or fighting. But we'll move down around here or maybe near the river and then put up a watchtower and see what Dale is going to do. They may just decide to go right to Dale with the city relatively undefended like that. But now we do have the rams built to assault Langwick, and they've got the heir and then just some other generic noble, meaning the ruler must be somewhere either in the trees or in their last remaining settlement on the eastern side of the Greenwood. There's not too much that's too scary here, especially for the couple of retainers, the archers, and especially the Noldor swords. All right, so we've got our archers already in range to start shooting here. I think we want to focus on the bodyguard units if we can. I think we can still hit that Beorning guard, which is really nice. And they're pretty vulnerable to arrow fire too, so hopefully we'll do a lot of damage on them. We do have to worry a little bit about these woodman bows, but we're sending the Noldor right for the gate, and there's no real towers or other archers here. So I think once we bust through, we'll just be able to take these guys out in melee, and there should not be a problem. All right, the gate is down. We're ready to rush in. There's some cav here, but there's just the one unit, and then they've got woodman axes, and it looks like some spears just shuffling around. Up here, they've stopped the movement of the Beornings back to the city plaza, although I expect that'll change pretty soon. We've got some more axemen back there. Oh, actually, it looks like they're moving down to defend. Okay, that's actually great. We'll be able to target them again if they keep moving in that direction. But yeah, we should have no trouble dealing with these guys. The cavalry, last cavalry, are falling currently. We'll cut through the woodman spears and then the woodman axes, and then just chase these guys before they get back to the square, I think. And they're just about all coming out for us now. We've got those Beorning guard cut down quite a bit. One of these only has 2 men left in the unit. Still got the family member there. Here we are surrounding the main general. This is the heir to the Beorning chiefdom. Only got a few guard left with him. No losses yet on our Noldor. It looks like we took out the captain or the lesser family member. All right, there he goes, and we'll go and clean up the rest of the force inside the plaza. All right, we've captured Langwick. There's almost nobody here in terms of population, so we'll just occupy, get rid of the military stuff and the Lord's feasts. And now we have to be prepared for enemies to come up towards us through the, well, from the Brownlands up along the river to Langwick. So this is our new front, essentially. And it's a little awkward because they could, of course, divert and head towards Amon Lank. So we've got this kind of cluster of 3 settlements we need to keep an eye on. Now, this could all be simplified by taking Mid-Deeping and the Wold, and I do have plans to do that. But first, it looks like a Dunabar wants to start something up again, and we've got a little of advantage here according to the balance of power bar. We've got our unit of Galadrim Scouts with us, which is good, and our king, of course, with 60 of those Elven Retainers. We do have some more varied units this time. We've got some more Uruks, some Orc Champions, and then a few Archers, which may be slightly troublesome. But we've actually got kind of a nice battlefield this time. We do have some trees, which we can use to our advantage, but we've also got some nice open ground, so it's not going to be too difficult to watch. Pretty soon, our Galadrim Scouts are going to be emerging from hiding. Yep, there they go, and we'll have them, I think, target the Orc Champions. Pretty vulnerable without shields here. But the Archers, actually on closer inspection, there's not too many of them. Those Dark Bows, those Royal Longbowmen, wherever they are. Yeah, just a few. Mostly Snaga Hunters, and that shouldn't be too tricky to deal with. There's a single unit of Cav, as well as a captain led by some Dark Swords, but I think we're going to be all right. Cutting down these Orc Champions pretty nicely. And these, you know, these Ravanian Foresters, now that I'm looking at it, may give us a bit of trouble, but we've got so many men, I think we'll be all right. I mean, these Galadrim Scouts are going to take some losses due to this massed Archer fire. Not too much we can do about that. I guess I could run them around, but I like them thinning out the herd a bit, and we can retrain them over in Amon Lank. Alright, they're going to skirmish away, which is just fine. They've pretty much eliminated those Orc Champions, so I think we will do that. Let's just bring them back here. And send in the bodyguard against... Oh, let's see if we can hit those scout levies, because those guys could do some damage to us. It looks like we are going to catch them. They're just going to stand there and not try to rout. So we'll halt, get the spears out. And they're going to fall pretty fast. Wavering already. Archers in the back line are, again, going to be a bit of an issue, but our own ranged guys are skirmishing away, so that'll keep these guys nice and tired, I think. Alright, those horsemen are driven off pretty easily, so we'll just turn and I guess take out these Dark Swords. Alright, with most of the infantry taken care of, I think we need to turn our attention to the archers now, especially the ones that are chasing down my own skirmishers. If we can get back here, hit these Dark Bows, take out these Orc Hunters, that'll make things a little easier. Alright, now our Galadrim Scouts have found this unit of Grim Spears pretty much unattended. The king here is taking on these Uruk Spears and doing fairly well. They're going to be routing pretty quick. Then we'll just have to turn and chase down the rest of these ranged units, and that should be it. Well, that went fairly well. We did lose a few more Galadrim Scouts than I would like. Remember, this unit starts off with 41, but we do have another unit here already in Amon Lank, and we're building up to Royal Hosting, where we will eventually be able to train Galadrim warriors. So that will be nice, but we do have some other big stacks approaching. So I think we need to keep up this momentum, if you can call it that, by moving these guys down south from Langwick. We can attach them to Rumil of Lothlorien's army. There we go, and we can bring in the other Galadrim Scouts here, and maybe move them slightly out into the, well, into the broader area. And then I think we need to deal with this army of Dale, which up close looks a little less threatening than it did from afar, and this army of Adunabar, which I have no idea what awaits us there. But this very annoying army of the Beornings has decided to make things a little easier for me by moving from down here up into really the path that I want to go. So we're going to take these Imladris Lancers and attack them, and look at the balance of power. We just got 26 elves here on horseback, and they've got 93 men with a bunch of hounds. Honestly, I'm not totally sure how this one's going to go with the mechanics of the war dogs, but I guess we'll see. And here we are on the battlefield with our very own trained up Imladris Lancers. Very nice looking unit. And we've got a captain, of course, instead of the typical family member bodyguard. So I'm not sure if we'll get a man of the hour with this one, but that would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Let's see. They're probably going to be on the high ground, probably somewhere up in the woods. We'll get these guys in a nice big line, and yeah, let's go straight for the Woodman Riders. Take them out quickly, and then hope to rout the rest of the army as fast as we can. It looks like they may not be giving us a nice charge, though, so we'll go for the Woodman Axes instead. Should be able to get rid of them pretty quick. Alright, lances are down. Blam. Okay, great. I want to pull them away because we don't want to get stuck. Sometimes, you know, when you destroy a unit completely, you know, in a single charge, there's a possibility of dead units remaining to foul up your future charges, and honestly, this is going to be a little annoying. Let's just ignore them if we can. Yeah, we're going to charge right over them. I'd never seen that before. We're going to go right into this unit of Woodman Riders. Oh my gosh, how good is this to see? Cut them down by half. We're still charging. Yeah, losing slightly, I would say so. We're still counted as having that charge bonus. Very good. We'll just keep this up as long as we are. Losing slightly, yeah. Down to 2 men, down to 1, wavering, routing, and there goes the captain. So now we're going to turn. The dogs are attacking us. How's this going to go? I mean, this is hardly sporting, but I imagine we may take some losses. Yep, just because dogs are stupid. Okay, let's just run around. All right, run through them and hit the handlers. There we go. You want to get them to rout. That's the main thing. Charge through those guys. Hit these handlers. Picked up a point of experience. We got 1 handler unit routing. And looks like these guys are trying to withdraw. I don't want that to happen. Let's see. We're going to ignore the dogs. Although it looks like the dogs are gone. Alright, yes. Chase them down. Every worthless Beorning unit. We're going to chase them down. They took out, what, 2? Let's see. There's 1 horse down there. 1 horse up here. We're going to chase them all down. We're going to get rid of these jerks once and for all. And then I'll feel a lot better. Yeah, we got a proven commander, all right. I'll take him. He's not the best. He's a Galadel, which is interesting. So that's decrease to troop training, +1 command when defending walls, but -5% trade income. Well, that's fine. We'll take him anyway. He's a wary fighter. He's got some good traits. And so now we've got a family member here. We don't need to worry about this stack being bribed, and we don't have to worry about Beornings really anymore. They're over here. They're over here now, for now, and we'll see how long they can maintain their presence on the east side of the Greenwood. But I should also point out that we have completed the Outland Dominion in the city of Dale, which means that now we are making a decent profit. We've got 7,531 coming in currently, and so we can also start working on some of those other settlements where we can do that. I think Esgaroth is going to be my next choice. That's just because this place, well, it already doesn't have the Dominion building built, and so we just need to build it up there. But also, it's going to be very wealthy for trade. So in order to keep that trade going, we need to think about what are the other places that these settlements border, and how can we solve the problem we have of the Dale men just continuing to attack us. I think if we double-click on the Beorning capital, the garrison is very small in here. Now, the Beornings could have a full stack outside, and maybe they will bring that into the north. We do have a scout here. Maybe we can bring him over. And nothing seems to be marching through the woods just yet, but we'll keep him moving in this direction. But we've got a couple of choices here. If I don't want to deal with the Beornings with this stack, we could head over to Yodor or down the river to Burn. I think probably Yodor would make sense. Let's just get over here onto Dale territory. So they've got a stack down there, which may come to threaten us. But let's just go ahead and put this place under siege. Looks like they've just got a wooden palisade, so nothing too intimidating. And inside the city, they've got a noble and, you know, some decent units. We'll get rid of those if possible, take the city. And once we take Yodor, we'll have to decide what to do with it. Do we want to keep it, or do we want to maybe gift it to another faction to make our life a little easier? Well, we've just essentially gotten word that Harondor has been eliminated as we're getting that change in loyalties. The Peace with the Dead script is firing, so that's another unfortunate loss. It could mean that Harad and Dunabar may be going to war. I'm not too sure, but it's very far from our concerns at the moment. We do have, okay, the Mithlond Elven Riders are retrained, and that's because Again, when you keep a settlement on auto-manage, it's going to auto-retrain or rebuild anything that it can. And apparently we get the population just high enough to get Elven Riders. So, you know what? Let's send them off in this direction immediately. We may as well. It takes them a very long time to get anywhere useful. But we do have some more formidable forces already in the area of Rivendell. We got another unit of Imladris Lancers all trained up and ready to meet with these Mariners and 2 units of Elven Riders. We'll send them over here. I don't suppose a Tharbad is going to have enough money to start bribing these high-tier Elven units, but, you know, it never hurts just to be safe, I guess. In Oldford, we moved the new commander that we got, and the Imladris Lancers. We'll bring them down south. And, yeah, we've got this large army here now, so we could decide what to do with it. Now, this poses something of maybe an attractive option. We could attack both of these armies with this single army. We've got our king, we've got a couple of other retainers, and we've got 3 units of Galadrim scouts, close to anyway, along with some Greenwood guards, some Elven archers, and some cav of our own, and the Noldor swords, of course. So is it worth it to deal with these massive armies? Well, if Adunabar looks weak, they don't really. There's a lot of big units here. I think it might be more useful to call them out. So let's get down here. Let's get, let's see, do we want to bother? Yeah, let's grab this mercenary, and let's get into the Brownlands, and let's show them that, yes, we're going to buy up all of these guys, and we're going to go straight for your territory. We're not playing defense anymore. We're going for you guys. And it looks like Dale does not have much around Framsburg. I remember earlier they did have Gundabad Fortress. It looks like they do currently own Angmar East, so they've gotten across the Misty Mountains here. But that's looks like that's rebelling too, so they're not going to hold that much longer. So that means we could move this relatively small force with just some Greenwood bows, some Threshold troops. Let's bring it right over here. And we're going to put Framsburg under siege. We're going to take this. Now, as for Dale itself, there's a bit of unrest there. I think I saw a spy of Dale go into the settlement in the last turn. So we're looking at 65% public order. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can train here. I've just moved all the units I can inside, and we will have to hope that, well, the spy gets rid of whoever's inside causing trouble. We've got a very good spy. He's got rank 6 in subterfuge, so I imagine we'll be able to kick out the offending agent. But here we can attack Yodor. We're going to assault this, and we've got Barek as the noble who is defending with some decent troops, as you can see. And we've also got another family member with a few reinforcements showing up. And as I like to do, we've got all of our archers out front shooting at the high priority targets inside. We've got some black arrows, a very nice unit. Be good to cut down, and then some hearth troops as well, some bowmen, and just a few other militia units who have already done a great deal of damage, and our rams have just touched the gate. The reinforcing army has arrived, so they've got their family member, they've got a bunch of archers, but our own archers are firing from way down here up to them, so they're not going to be around very much longer. We are actually fighting some of them as well down here. Well, there's not a lot these cavalry are going to do to my elven retainers, even if they're fighting with swords. Now, some of them have spears out. But there goes one of the family members. The other one is sure to follow. After that, I think we've just got some Dale Watch up top. With Yodor taken, I think we will lay desolate and destroy what we can. There's another large army standing outside, but what I may want to do first is see what we can do to shop this place around. Yes, we've got an emissary right here, close enough to talk to the dwarves. Let's see if they'd be interested in Yodor. I'm going to give you the new settlement that we just took, and I will also give you a couple thousand Mirian. We'll offer all this as a gift, and they will take it. The dwarves are a much better neighbor than Dale, so let's take a new look. This kind of makes some sense in that it's really close to the Iron Hills. They would probably like it, and in fact, I think they'll have a pretty decent time holding on to it. If Dale wants it, I guess they can take it back. Let's see if they'll attack this army. We could follow up if we want and destroy them even farther, but I think that'll have to wait for another episode. Now, although we are getting fairly close to our victory conditions, we've got 26 settlements out of a total of 30 that we need, there are a few other things that I'll want to do before I'll feel really secure. And that involves dealing with the Beornings once and for all, kind of making sense of my borders in the east, and also taking all of these wonderful units that I've just trained down to make some sense of our borders with the Dunabar. So we'll continue this in the following episode, and hopefully also relatively soon we'll have Austenethil built up. We can start making some use out of that settlement. But in the meantime, thank you for joining me in this episode. I hope you'll stick around. Until the next one, take care.